Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Distance Learning at Eisenhower. Today, I just wanted to go over a brief lesson on photosynthesis. Look at those tacos. What do you do when you're hungry? You get some food. You eat it as soon as you can to satisfy that hunger. You are a living thing and you need energy to survive. Eating food gives you energy to do many things. Plants are also living things that need energy, but plants don't eat food. So, how do they get their energy? Look at this mangrove tree. Are the roots sucking food out of the water? Do they make their own food or do they get it from somewhere else? That's what you're going to learn in this lesson. Now, here's our good friend, the plant cell. You remember we went over 10 of the organelles, and I've underlined those that we've gone over in the past, starting with the cell wall. And I want to point out the chloroplast, here identified by the red arrow. And you know, the chloroplast is green, which makes leaves green. The chloroplast also has a chemical in it called chlorophyll, which extracts energy from sunlight, stores it, and begins the photosynthesis process, the process of making food, also known as glucose. Some vocabulary words for this unit would be energy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare it to your own kitchen where you make your food. Energy, that's like the sun, but in your kitchen, it's the fire that cooks your food. The cell is like the house where food is made. Chloroplast is like the kitchen inside your house, just like the chloroplast is inside the cell. Chlorophyll is the stove inside the kitchen, just like chlorophyll is inside the chloroplast. And photosynthesis is the process of making the food. It's a dynamic chemical reaction. The other three vocabulary words that you're going to need to know for this unit would be xylem, phloem, and transpiration. And we're going to talk about those a little bit later. Now, here's the chemical reaction. You have sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. That, through the chemical process, causes photosynthesis to occur in the chloroplast using chlorophyll. And the leaves are like solar panels. That chemical reaction results in glucose, C6H12O6, that's the compound, and it gives off oxygen. We all know that plants give off oxygen so that we can breathe, but plants breathe in carbon dioxide. Here's where you're going to get the six carbons from, right here. 6 times C, that's your C6. H12, here's 6 times 2, that's 12 hydrogens. And then you have 6 oxygens, 6 times O, there it is. And then you have six oxygen molecules let off into the atmosphere. And here are your 6 oxygens right here, 6O2, 6 times O2. So that's the chemical reaction which turns carbon dioxide and water into a food source, glucose and oxygen. Now, where does food come from? Well, for animals and humans kill their food. They eat plants, they buy their food from the store, cook their food, and they need a source or a kitchen. Plants, on the other hand, they make their own food. There is no kitchen, no cooking, no stores. So, how do they make that food? Plants can't cook their own food. What if plants don't have leaves? Well, we see this tree on the left has leaves, but the cactus on the right hand side does not have leaves, but it's got a green skin that tells you that there is chlorophyll present. Where there is sunlight and chlorophyll, that can enable this photosynthesis process to take place, thereby creating the food or glucose needed for the plant to survive. Once the food is made, the food uses these other transport vehicles inside of a plant. One of them is called the xylem. Now, the xylem, they're like straws in the stems that suck water up and minerals up from the roots, but it's a one-way up only elevator. It does not go down. The phloem takes food from the leaves, and they're like veins that send food from the leaves to the flowers, down to the fruit and the roots, or up to the fruit. If it's an apple tree, the food would go up the phloem into the apples or oranges or grapes or what have you. If it's potatoes or carrots, let's say, it would go down. The phloem is a two-way elevator. It goes up and down the plant. The transpiration, that is a process where water vapor escapes from the pores underneath the leaves, and those pores are called stomata. So you see, plants sweat just like we do. The flow of water, minerals, and food. In this diagram, you'll see the blue arrows. They're all pointing up. That means that they are xylem. Xylem are water transport ways that go only upward in the plant. The orange arrows, as you see, they're going up and down, up to the flowers. This one is going to the fruit. Now, this could be this is a potato plant, but this could easily be, say, an apple tree. These would be apples that go up to the fruit, or it goes down. In this case, it's a potato plant. It would go down into the potatoes. That would be where excess food is stored. So if it has excess food beyond what it needs to grow, then that's when you get fruit development, or you get flowers, beautiful flowers, but usually it's for the development of fruit or roots. Here you have pictures of carrots. Those are actually roots. They're a root fruit. Same thing with potatoes on the right. That is the result of excess stored food that was transported through the phloem down to the roots. Stomata are like pores in the leaves. Just like we sweat, plants sweat too. And they are on the underside of leaves. They're small openings. And that's how plants evaporate excess water and also evaporates out of the soil as well. So plants lose water through transpiration. Transpiration is similar to perspiration, sweat. Just like sweat cools our bodies, transpiration cools the leaves on hot days to prevent them from burning up in sunlight. These pores are underneath the leaves. They're called stomata, and they're small openings on the underside of the leaf. Here's a diagram that shows how water escapes out of plants. That's why you have to continue watering them through the leaves, through the stomata. It's transpiration, the loss of water through the pores of the stomata, through the pores of the plant. And also, as you can see, it evaporates from soil and changes to vapor, water vapor. If you put a plastic bag around a leaf of a plant, you would see condensation over time. It would get foggy and you would see droplets of water. That would be proof of transpiration. That's it, guys. Till next time, hope you learned about how plants create their own food. It's a chemical process. And remember to watch this as often as you need to. Be sure to complete the assignment associated. And remember, learn something new every day. Up next, plants and cellular respiration.